Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Franklin from Couples Talk. Now on today's video, I want to talk about 7 things you must do often in your marriage to preserve it. Now why is this important? The reason is because one thing is to get married, another thing is to stay married after many years. One of the challenges that the world is going through today is that very many marriages are not staying long. They are not being preserved. They are not lasting longer anymore. And this is something that, when you take a look what is happening out there in the world, you don't laugh at them. No, you don't mock at them, but rather you learn. And that's part of the things I want to do in this video, to learn some of the things that you should do often in your marriage as a man, as a woman, to preserve your marriage. And we're going to be starting with the first one. But before then, if this is your first time of coming to this channel and you've not subscribed and you like to be hearing things like this on marriage from God's standpoint, I want to encourage you to subscribe, because hear me, every week we're putting out content that will go a very long way to help you, to educate you, in the things that you should know concerning your marriage and your relationships. Okay, so let's get right into it. The first thing that you must do often in your marriage is to forgive. Learn to do what? To forgive. Listen, I cannot stress this enough. If there is one reality that is there in marriage, is that you will always be offended. Yeah, you heard me right. You'll be offended by your spouse. As a man, your wife will offend you. As a woman, your husband will offend you. I mean, it will keep happening again and again. And when kids start coming in, your kids will offend you. But one of the ways to stay immune to these offenses is to learn how to forgive easily. Sometimes it amazes me how very many people, they've been in marriage for a very long time and still they don't know how to forgive. Listen, my brothers and sisters, forgiveness is not something that we should start encouraging you to do. It's something that you should learn for yourself. Most people think when they forgive others, they are doing other people a favor, but that's not the truth. The real truth here is that when you forgive, you are doing yourself a favor, because unforgiveness can go a long way to keep you stagnant in life. It can draw you back in life. You may not see it, you may not know it, but as long as that seed of unforgiveness is there in your heart, there's a whole lot of things that you will begin to miss out on in life. This is the reason you must learn to forgive, especially those whom you call family. Learn to forgive them, because when you do, you bring yourself into a place of liberty, and they also experience this liberty. You get the point now? Somebody says, "Oh, I can forgive, but I cannot forget." Well, if you truly forgive, you don't remember. And that's the truth. True forgiveness, hear me, if it comes from the depth of your heart, whatever it is that they did, it no longer matters. You don't remember it again. Because most of the time when you remember this thing, it has a way of creating this pain in your heart. But when you forgive, if you genuinely forgive, it goes off, and that's it. Now, the next thing that you must do often in your marriage is to be quick to say you are sorry. It's not a big deal, really. I've seen cases again and again where, one person refuses to say sorry, the other person says, okay, I'm not going to say sorry, and all that stuff. There is no point arguing about this. Listen carefully. Understand this. The ability for you to say sorry, listen, is something that you should cultivate. Don't make it a big deal. When you tell your spouse sorry, it doesn't take anything away from you. It doesn't take any, it doesn't add any. So why hold it back? A lot of times I discovered the reason why people find it difficult to say sorry is not just about pride, it's just a bad character. They are reflecting their perspective of things. Truly, it's not a big deal. Learn to say sorry often. There are some times when you may not think you should say sorry. I've seen such cases. I've been in such cases also where you don't think you should say sorry. And sometimes it's not necessarily because you have pride or something, but you are just trying to communicate a particular message. But guess what? All in all, it is best for you to let go. Let go and just say sorry. When you do this more often, when sorry becomes often in your marriage, I'm telling you, the devil will not be able to penetrate your marriage. That's the truth. Because the devil is always looking for loopholes in which it can penetrate your marriage and scatter things. There are many marriages that have ended up today because one party refused to say sorry. Why allow your marriage come to that point when you can just easily tell the person you are sorry from the depth of your heart? You get the point now? It's not a big deal, really. Some people look at it like it's a big deal. When you see it as a big deal, that is when, saying sorry to be as though you are doing somebody a favor. Be an advocate of peace. That's one thing that you must know. Be an advocate of what? Peace in your home. So when there is a need for you to say sorry, go ahead and say sorry. It doesn't really matter. What matters most is that your relationship, your marriage is preserved. And guess what? Your children will see this and they will copy it. When they see that you are quick to say sorry, they will copy that thing. It's an attitude that will preserve your home. Now let's take a look at the third point. Now before we do that, if you love what you are hearing so far, smash the like button, subscribe if you have not done so, share it with your friends and families. Let them hear this stuff. It will go a long way to bless them. Now let us take a look at the next one. You must be quick to accept responsibility. Don't push blames. A lot of times what I've noticed is that when people are in marriage, they are quick to push blame. Oh, it's because of you that such and such happened. It's because of you. It's because of you. They are quick to push blame. Many couples today, they don't want to take responsibility. And this is one of the leading causes of divorce in the world today. That one is pushing blame. The other one is pushing blame. Nobody wants to take responsibility. Everybody is claiming to be right. And this is a problem. You see, the both of you cannot always be right. As long as marriage is concerned, trust me, the both of you cannot always be right. There will always be a time when you are wrong. It has happened to me. There are times when I'm wrong. And at the end of the day, I know that I am wrong. I will tell you the truth. There are times when my wife is wrong. The both of us are not always right. And you've got to understand this as someone who wants to preserve his or her marriage. Understand this. The both of you will not always be right. And this is the reason you should learn to take responsibilities. Let sleeping dogs lie. There are times you say, I'm sorry. I take responsibility for what just happened. I'm truly very, very sorry. And move on. Take responsibility. Stop denying the truth. There are times when, a particular person is doing the wrong thing and is not willing to accept the truth. Is not willing to take responsibility. And that's not how we should be. Accept the truth. Embrace the truth. Take responsibility. Apologize. And move on. Remember, family is the most important thing. You have your family to keep. You have your marriage to preserve. So this is something that you should work on. It's of great importance that you do this. Now, the next thing here we're looking at is that you must avoid pushing blames. Because if you keep pushing blames, you will never be able to take responsibility. Avoid it. Avoid it. Even though there are times when your partner could be wrong, but listen carefully, don't let it become a stumbling block. You get the point now? Don't let it become a stumbling block. Accept responsibility and move on. See, if you can do this, your life will not remain the same. Your marriage will not remain the same. If you do this often, I'm telling you, your marriage will be preserved. It will be preserved. And that's how it goes. The next point that I wrote down here for you is that you must avoid unnecessary arguments again and again. Even the Bible communicates this to us. It said, avoid foolish arguments. There are some arguments that are not needed. Let me tell you, there are times when very silly arguments can just come up. Silly things. It could be about the food. It could be about shoe. It could be about, flushing the toilet and not closing it. All these things, they can come up. And when they come up, how do you dose the fire? Avoid it. Stop talking in that direction. Maybe you're listening to me right now. You always want your partner to flush and close the toilet, and your partner does not do it. Don't make it a problem. If they flushed and they did not close the toilet, you go and close the toilet. Continue your relationship. Yeah. Or maybe your partner, likes to scatter the room, likes to put clothes here, put clothes there. There are some silly attitudes and characters that people grow up with, and they don't like to let go of it. Not like they don't really want to let go of it, but it's just a part of them now. I mean, they are just used to coming back to the house, put the shoe here, put their shirt there, put the trouser there. It's just their way of life. Don't make it a problem. Yeah, otherwise it will not lead to unnecessary argument, and from there you guys will start releasing words that will hurt your emotions. There's no need for that. Just go with the flow. Whatever your spouse did not do it and move on. Sometimes you can talk about it. I'm not saying you should turn blind eyes to it completely. There are times you just talk about it, but don't make it an issue. Don't make it something that will become an argument that will lead into something else. Remember, a little argument that is not carefully addressed, it could lead into something very, very big. That's the truth. So the next thing that you've got to do often in your marriage to preserve your marriage, learn to appreciate your spouse. Learn to appreciate their looks. Don't body shame them. Learn to appreciate what they are doing in the house. Learn to appreciate their contribution. You are a man. You have a wife who stays at home to take care of your children. Don't start looking down on her, thinking, oh, after I'm the one bringing the money for the house and all that stuff. Listen carefully. Marriage is like a company. You see, in every company, everybody, they have their own responsibility. And no matter how little that responsibility may be, someone is the one doing it. I said that to say this. Whatever your wife is doing, appreciate your wife. Whatever your husband is doing, appreciate them. Appreciate them. From house chores to their looks, learn to appreciate them. Learn to say thank you. In most cases, buy them gifts just to say thank you. I appreciate what you are doing. See, when you do this, you are rekindling that fire of love that was there when the both of you started. Remember, when the both of you started, it was those things that you were doing that made the love to be burning, to stay afire. This is something that I want to encourage you to learn today, to go a long way to help you. And finally, learn to plan together. Don't have a separate plan. Learn to plan together. The couple that plans together sticks together. Learn to plan together. Whatever it is you want to do as a woman, involve your husband. Whatever it is you want to do as a man, involve your wife. Most men today, they have scattered their wives' emotion because of the separate plan they keep having. Most women, they've done the same thing too, and it shouldn't be that way. I want to encourage you to work on this. And a bonus point for you, learn to pray together. Listen. A marriage where the both people, where the couple, they pray together, they fast together. Hear me, that marriage will always be preserved. That marriage, the devil will not be able to penetrate that marriage. You know why? Because the both of you are always approaching the throne of grace together. And so when you approach together, you draw grace together. And that grace is what preserves your marriage. I want to encourage you, don't choke with these things I just shared with you. Listen to it again and again because it will help you a great deal. That'll be all for this video. I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, keep basking in marital bliss. Remember, if your marriage is going to work, it takes a responsibility from the both of you. Don't forget to like the video, drop me a comment, and share with your friends and families. I'll see you in the next one. God bless you.